What's good, y'all? Elite live streams. We back with another one. How you guys doing out there? Welcome. Another Elite live stream. Salute to everyone out there. Thank you so much. You guys have been great, man. All the new subscribers. We appreciate you guys for always pulling up, showing love to your boy, making sure that you guys are staying locked in. And, it's a great Friday, man. It's beautiful outside. I hope you guys are having a great day out here in California. You can't be mad at this weather, man. It's been beautiful. It's a beautiful day, man. Salute, man. Happy Friday, everybody out there. But today, you know what I'm saying? We got a pretty sick topic. Usually I like to make sure that I'm mixing things up around here, bringing you guys fresh topics, things that are relatable from like not only just, a regular outside perspective, but stuff that we can all relate to when it comes to, morals, respect, and principles. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it's very important for me to always use my platform right here on Elite Media to speak when I see these type of things that I can speak to. You know what I'm saying? It has a lot of great metaphors involved and kind of just, these type of thought processes, right, that we all go through where there are things in life that, may come up. There are things in life that, may tempt you to want to go against your morals, right? Things that make you want to, do something strange for a piece of change. There's a lot of people who can look at these scenarios and look at these situations and they don't have any, decorum about, stopping a situation or thinking about what it would take to do something. If you have a number, they're willing to do whatever it takes, right? And yeah, man, Terence Crawford stood on business. You know what I'm saying? He made a clear stance against, just the thought process of making money your God. You know what I'm saying? Doing anything for money. You know what I mean? Selling out yourself for a paycheck, for an enormous amount of money, for whatever that may be in life. You know what I'm saying? I think this topic goes deep because, it ain't just about, you selling your soul, because a lot of people sell their souls for much less than $100 million. You know what I'm saying? There are people out there who sell their souls for, whatever they have to do in life to get by. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have to kind of live with those type of scenarios in their life where they have to be kind of in a situation where they consider themselves, I will do whatever it takes to, get to where I need to get to. And whatever words that may mean to you guys, that may mean to you guys. But in reality, that's the topic of this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Is to think about people who, have done a lot of very, questionable things in a sense where they are willing, right, to be in a scenario where, hey, man, if you're given this amount of money, right, how would that, translate into what you would do? And Terence Crawford being, a man who, in my opinion, stands on business and he has a very, very strict ideology that he subjects himself to, right? And he's proven that not only in the ring, but outside of the ring, right? A very disciplined man, a man with principle, a man who understands himself and who is not willing to compromise himself for others. I think Terence Crawford has proven this over time. And I think time and time again, we saw him rise to the occasion against all odds, right? When a lot of people thought that he was not going to become a world champion, when a lot of people thought that he couldn't beat this person or that person, he always stood up and he always made it clear that he was willing to go wherever he had to respect the game and respect himself. And I think now that we kind of look at this scenario where, he goes on to beat Canelo in a very, very highly touted, boxing match, which was, the biggest fight of his career. He has the best performance of his career, which catapults him into what a lot of people consider GOAT status, one of the top pound for pound fighters to ever do it, right? And so once he beats Canelo, Now he says, you know what? There's nothing else for me to do. I can hang it up. It's time for me to go. I've got my money. I've got my mind. I haven't taken a lot of damage. It's the perfect time for me to go ahead and bow out, you know, and justifiably so, right? I think as people who enjoy to watch boxing and combat sports in general, you also have to understand the toll that this takes on a lot of the fighters who have done, you know, this sport for basically their entire lives, you know, have put their lives on the line and have taken a lot of damage, not only inside the ring, but outside of the ring, right? And so he seeing, hey, man, you know, the damage that we take, I've done everything that I need to do. I'm going to gracefully bow out while I'm on top, while I'm undefeated, while I just made the biggest payday, and also while I have other fighters in my stable who I'm bringing up behind me to take over after I'm finished, right? Like I said, a very thoughtful person, Terence Bud Crawford, right? So cool. He goes and he says, I'm good. So now the game starts, the propaganda starts where what? Now everyone wants him to get back in the ring, right? How much would it take to get you back in the ring to fight Canelo again? How much would it cost for you to fight Benavidez? You know, people are saying all these crazy, outlandish things, and Terence Crawford, being Terence Crawford, says, you know what? No, I'm good, man. You know, I'm trying to make sure my family is straight. I'm going to worry about my stable of fighters, and then I'm going to go ahead and bow out gracefully. Cool. Fast forward to a couple of days ago, he goes on the Pivot podcast, right? He's on the Pivot podcast. And of course, you know, they're asking the same questions like everybody else, right? Trying to push the narrative to get, you know, Terence Crawford back in the ring. And so, justifiably so, Terence Crawford lets them know, hey, man, you know what? I'm good, bro. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, take that route. I'm cool. You know, there's only so much that I need, right? And I can, you know, be cool. So let's watch the video so you can see in his own words what Terence Crawford had to say to this brother, Channing Crowder. All right, let's hear it.
Everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
All right. Everyone saw this and they said, what? 100 million, you can have my soul. So that made me think, what is the price for your soul, right? What is the price for your soul? If we're talking about life, you know what I'm saying? Sure, maybe he was joking, maybe he wasn't, right? Who cares, right? Who cares, right? Who cares? But at the end of the day, we're all thinking the same thing, right? Oh, wow, 100 million, and you'll sell your soul, huh? Like, okay, bet. Like, that's your price. So obviously, of course, the way that my mind works and how I think and what I want from my channel is to build a certain level of consciousness to where we can have these type of questions amongst each other and think, what is the price for your soul? What is the price, Channing Crowder? He said 100 million. For 100 million, you could have his soul. That's what he said. That was in his own words, okay? So let me play this back for you guys so that you guys can listen again, just so that we're on the same page here, because it's very important to make sure that we're all on the same page, right? Because when I look at these things, when I see these type of metaphors, it's important for us to bring it up, right? It's important for us to bring it forward. And so naturally, that's what I'm going to do. So let me add this there. Boom. All right. So now let's listen. Let's go back. Hold up. Let's go back so that you guys can really see, you know what I'm saying, the overall of what this brother had to say, because, you know, right now we got a little, you know what I'm saying, little forward before it. So let me bring it back just a little bit. All right, there we go.
Back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you know, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man. Like, what you gonna stand for if everything is about money?
All right. That's it. What are you going to stand for if everything is about money? Right? And that's just a realist statement that anybody can make in reference to money. What are you going to stand for if everything is just about money? And that's where it kind of just, you know what I'm saying, got a little bit deeper for me, because that's just how my mind works, right? I'm not just a surface level type of person. I'm always going to think, you know, deeper than just the surface level. And so there's a lot of things that, you know, that could reference, right? A lot of things that we could think about what that would mean, right? So of course, it just brought me back to the verse, you know, in the Bible, right? Mark 8:36. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their souls? Right? What good is it? What good is it to have it all if you lose your soul within that? Right? And that's really what this made me think about. You know what I'm saying? It really made me think like how somebody could really think this way and be in this, you know, specific, you know, ideology, right? And how as well the influence of where we're at right now as a culture, right? Culturally, we see so many people who are willing to sell out for the bag, right? Getting the bag, right? Everybody talks about getting the bag, right? People are willing to do anything to get the bag. You feel me? And I feel like that's just a terrible way to think. I think it's a terrible message to send the youth. I think it's a terrible ideology to have when we start to value money over everything else. You know what I'm saying? When money becomes something that you equate to, hey man, I'm willing to sell my soul for it. You know what I'm saying? You're willing to sell your soul for $100 million. I mean, you gotta think about that, right? He said he's willing to sell his soul for $100 million. It really makes you think, man, where are we at as a society? Even if it is a joke, right? Even if he is joking, where are we at as a society where men can come online and tell other people, young, impressionable youth, to do anything for money, right? I see all the time, right? I see all the logic all the time. People talking about all money ain't good money. A lot of people talk that, but when it's in your face, when they have that contract right there ready for you to sign, are you going to turn it down based on your morals? Or are you going to sign your life away like most people do? And that's why I felt like this was a great conversation to have, because at the end of the day, Terence Crawford had to stand on business, because a lot of men right now in this culture are not standing on business. A lot of men right now in our culture are selling out for the bag. A lot of men in our culture are doing whatever they have to do to get money. And I feel like that is such a soft, snake, no backbone way to go about life, man. To never stand for anything and to always be willing to be sold to the highest bidder. Whoever's got the most money, I'm willing to go with whatever they willing to give me. What type of life are we talking about here? What message are you sending the youth when we talk about morals, when we talk about principles as men? Okay, I could care less about anybody else, because the people who are in this room were men, Black men. Okay, so it's important for me to speak on that. If it's a room full of Black men, what are we telling Black youth if we're telling them to sell out whatever to the highest bidder? Whoever you want, whatever you want, long as it's enough money. No, that's a terrible message to send. And I'm so proud of Terence Crawford for standing up and standing on business and actually having a backbone to say, you know what? That's you, dog. That's you, but that speaks to your character. 100%. And that's the problem right now. There's a lot of character flaws that have infiltrated into what is going on right now with men in this country. A lot of men have put these things in front of what actually matters, principles and morals. What do you stand on? What do you stand for? If all it is about money, bro. Listen to this crap. Listen to this dude.
Back in that ring, 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Bro, we already know what you be on, but now it just confirms it. It confirms it 100% who you are now. Your character cannot be questioned ever again. And what do they say, man? You laugh to keep from crying, right? You laugh to keep from crying because these dudes hop on the internet talking about all this stuff when it comes to money, but never about principle, never about morals, never about the moral high ground of saying, yeah, man, I'm good because that goes against my principles. I'm good because that goes against what I actually believe in. Nah, I'll just take the 100 million though. Like a fool. Like a fool. And sign your life away. Sign your morals away. Sign anything else away. You stand for nothing. Right? Because that's what you on, right? Let's listen to this again, just because it's just so interesting to me how nowadays everything is on wax. So it's a beautiful social experiment to watch in real time to see how you can actually take these type of things and apply it to real life situations and tell yourself that I never want to be on what this dude is on right here. I'm never going to be on that time, man.
Thought is everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character.
Exposed, bruh. Exposed. And that's what I will continue to say, man. As men, you have to stand for something in this world. Your word is your bond. That's all we have. And if all you have to say is, hey, man, here's a check, and all that goes out the window, you don't stand for anything. There's no manhood attached to that at all. That is the opposite of masculine, right? It's doing whatever for money, doing whatever for a check, doing whatever for the quick satisfaction. That's a problem. And it's a problem right now in our culture. And that's why we have a lot of the situations that we do, is because so many people have put value on money instead of other things that are actually important, like your morals and principles in life. Who are you as a person? What do you stand for? Who do you represent? And how do those people look up to you? Like I said, there are going to be Black men who are watching these podcasts. And what do we say to the youth? What do we say to the young Black men who watch this and are influenced by these young men? Okay? We're going to look at this and say, you know what? Terence Crawford stood on business. Terence Crawford led the way. Terence Crawford showed that, hey, man, that ain't cool. It's not cool to be whatever for whatever part of money that you can provide. It's not cool to be somebody who doesn't stand on principles and morals. It's not cool to just allow yourself to be a slave to the highest bidder. Black people have come too far to be out here selling our souls for anybody, let alone for a check. Nah, man, that's not what we should be standing for as men. And I thought this was an important topic to bring up because it speaks directly to that. A lot of what's the problem going on right now is you see a lot of people doing whatever to go viral. A lot of people doing whatever to make money. A lot of people cutting corners, taking shortcuts, not doing what's necessary, not being disciplined, not staying the course, man, trusting the process. We're losing that day by day because every time we see people out here, all they're doing is selling their soul, man. And there is an incentive to the youth to say, well, why go the hard route? Why actually dedicate yourself to something? Why do the hard work when all you got to do is sell out to get paid? And I'm glad that now we're seeing someone who's actually on that level, who's at the top of the game, say, nah, man, actually, y'all shouldn't do that. Actually, you should stand for something. Actually, you should look for the best that you can get out of any situation. That's real talk. That's definitely what you should be doing. And I think it's important that from a grand scale, right? A grand scale, that you look and you pay attention and you take these type of situations that happen in real time. Like I said, they're on the internet for us to take and say, you know what, this is a great example, to make sure that I'm using these type of examples to raise awareness about what to do and what not to do, and how this is an example of someone who stood on principles and morals and did it the right way. Terence Crawford stood on business, man. He didn't have to, make the shortcut and say, you know what, no, man, you know what, yeah, you right. No, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people will cape for, oh yeah, man, well, at least you're getting paid, bro. But it's like, no, man, what about how you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night when you're alone, no one around? How do you feel at night when it's just you? All that money will not rest your soul, though. And that's what I mean. It's in the, it's crazy how sometimes these things always relate. But like I said, Mark 8:36, what is a man to have the entire world but lose his soul? There is nothing that can replace that. And that's why it was very important. It's so important to just look at these conversations. Like, look at this, bro. Look at this. Just like, it gets no realer than these exchanges, man. This is man talk right here.
I thought that everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man. Like, what you gonna stand for if everything is about money?
And that's one of those clips that can make people.
Listen, man, it gets no realer than that. What you gonna stand for if everything is about money? If everything is about money, what you gonna stand for, right? Where do we find the levels? Who are you if everything is able to be bought? If I could just say, man, here's an amount of money, go away, don't stand for nothing, don't speak on this. This is where we're at, man. And that's why I said in our culture right now, I'm glad that Terence is actually standing on business, because we've been seeing a lot of this, people selling out for any type of money that they can get. And I'm glad that somebody at the top, who's at the very top of this game, was saying, nah, bruh, we don't move like that. That's not how we move around here. We want to speak on what's really going on. We actually want to have a situation where we can stand for something. And that's why I'm always trying to make it clear that, like, you even see now what's happening with Floyd Mayweather, right? Floyd Mayweather has had millions and millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? All these, he's the billionaire fighter. Now he's having all these problems where he's suing Al Heyman and he's suing Showtime because right now his books is messed up. He's been spending all that money. He's been living a lavish lifestyle. And that's what happens. This stuff always catches up with people. And unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's so important for fighters to get out when they can and make the right investments, stay away from a bad lifestyle, doing the right things. Terence Crawford is part of that new generation of fighters who are taking care of themselves, who are making the right business decisions, who are not out here having a crazy lifestyle, who have kept a very low profile and was able to get his money and get out with very minimal damage. So now we see what? Now we see him on his trajectory, doing what he has to do, living his life. What up, bro? And now we got this whole situation where, of course, Terence Crawford, he's going to be doing what he got to do, man. And I think when it comes to, no, I'm on live right now, dog. Yeah, I hit you in a bit. But yeah, that's just kind of the point, is like there's a whole aspect of this where I'm looking at Terence Crawford and I'm like, yeah, this dude did it the right way. And now people are trying to draw him back. And that's a part of the game. The boxing game is they're going to try to keep you in until they beat you. And Terence Crawford is beating the game. And they don't like that. So naturally, when he's going around, not only is he moving with a certain level of principle, but he also knows himself and he's not afraid to express himself. So he says, you know what? I'm good, y'all. I'm just going to go ahead and do my thing. Y'all go ahead and make way for the new fighters. I got these new guys in my stable. I want them to be the next, making way for the next generation. Unlike what Floyd did in trying to compete with this generation, right? Terence says, go ahead and do your thing. How much money is enough? He says, I'm good, man. I'm good, bro. Not enough. There will never be enough for me to sell my soul. But there are people like this brother right here who will, okay? Who will pay anything. You could pay him $100 million. He said you can have his soul. And that's why I thought this was a great conversation to piggyback on top of, to where it's a real conversation within our culture right now, is the fact that so many people have sold their souls for much less than that. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about people who sell their soul right here on YouTube for less than $100 million? Can we talk about the people who are chucking and jiving right now on YouTube for less than $200? Less than $200, they over here saying whatever they have to do, disparaging things about Black folks, disparaging things about they people. And for what? A few extra views and some likes and comment engagement, bro. This is where we at, man. This is where we're at. And that's why this conversation is super important. And it's great that Terence took the time out to make sure that he said, I stand apart from this type of culture. This type of culture, this influence, I don't want no part of that. I'm a different cloth. I'm cut from a different cloth. I did this because I wanted to be world champion. I'm not here for the money. The money was a byproduct of me being great. And that's what people don't understand. When you're great, the byproduct will be the money. But at the end of the day, when all you put forward and you put first is money, it will become your master. And that's just how this works. When you are consumed by money, it will become your master. And like I said, you can look at the contrast between Terence Crawford and now Floyd Money Mayweather. All the problems that he's going through right now, everything that's been happening with him, couldn't be much more the opposite of somebody who actually was thinking long term. And that's why it's important for these type of conversations, in my opinion, to be had, especially in our community, especially in this whole space, this social media world that we're in, because naturally, everybody's doing whatever they can to try to go viral, right? Everyone wants to go viral. But in reality, what it should be about, it should be about the passion of what you're doing. What's the quality of what you're making? How good is the subject matter? Everything else will come right after that. We know this. It's very, very possible. And that's why, you got to trust the process. You got to be dedicated to the craft. You got to love what you're doing. Everything else will be coming, right? Because at the end of the day, I felt like, from my opinion, this topic was something that is super important for all of us to be talking about, is the fact that if we are on here on the internet and people are consuming our content, the goal should always be leaving them with something that is enriching to their spirit and feeding their souls to the right direction. All right? Not just out here sending a message that it's okay to do whatever for a dollar bill, man. That's a terrible message to send, not only to people who are, consuming your content, but like I said, to the youth. We got to change that mentality. We got to get out of that mentality that has infiltrated into where we're at right now in this viral culture that we live in. Everybody's just trying to do whatever to get, the quickest, most fast rise in money as they can generate within the shortest amount of time, which is so unrealistic and totally ridiculous. You feel me? We got to get back to the roots. How do you love what you do? What's your passion? Do you love it? Do you want to be the best at it? And then the byproduct of that will be everything else. But people can tell, and you got to stand on business, man. You can't just be out here saying that, oh, yeah, I'll do whatever for $100 million. Yeah, I bet you would. I bet you were a bind. If you were in a bind and the world was against you, you'd do whatever you had to do for $100 because that's in you. Okay? That's the difference. A lot of this is in these people. They're really on that. What up, Randall? Welcome back, my brother Randall. Salute to you, man. Always pulling up, my guy. Yeah, man, but that's just real. What do you stand for? Who are you? What do you stand for, right? Let's go over this again so y'all could really get the vibe once more, because I just want to make sure that we all on the same page here, all right?
Thing has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man. Like, what you gonna stand for if everything is about money?
What you gonna stand for if everything is about money, brothers? Brothers and sisters, what do you stand for if everything is always about money? Rest in peace to Lil Jon's son. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's crazy that, we've seen, like I said, we've seen this infiltration of our culture right now where everybody's so easily influenced and wanting to go out here and do whatever they have to for, a dollar bill. It's insane, man. I'll be telling cats the same thing Terence be saying. This is facts, bro. A lot of us, money ain't everything. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like, money is a necessary tool for life and to live and to be able to do things and, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it is not my driving force in life. My driving force is to live. My driving force is my family. Like, money is 100% not everything, y'all. And we got to make sure that we keep that at the forefront. You feel me? Especially for the youth, because slowly but surely, especially in the situation that we in right now, dollars is going to look different for the younger generation. All right. Everything going to look different for them. So we got to start making sure that we start to prioritize things that are more important, like family, like memories with people you are close to. You feel me? Going out and doing something that's beyond just yourself, helping others, making a difference in your community. These are the type of things that should be put at the forefront instead of just doing whatever you can to go viral, doing whatever you can to make the most money, and doing whatever you got to do to cut corners. We got to move differently. We got to stand on business. And that's why it was important for me to talk about this, because Terence Crawford is an example of this as men. Because like I said, this is a conversation happening among men. So as men, we got to have a backbone. We got to stand on business. We can't just be so easily into whatever somebody tell us for however much they're willing to pay. Know your worth, brothers and sisters. Know your worth. Not everything is worth that much, man. We sitting out here, man, talking about how much is your soul worth. How much is your soul worth? Priceless. There is no price for your soul. We only get one soul, all right? We only get one. So you're going to tell me that I'm going to sell that? Please, bro, please. All my people care about is money, conquering, and hiding their hands. Listen, brother, we know what that look like, bro. We know what that look like firsthand, man. We see it every day. And that's why we say a lot of people have no soul, because they have no spirit, because all they do and everything that you do is driven on money, bro. Dark spirits, blank stares, nothing behind their eyes. A real NPC, bro. We see them every single day, man. And that's because your life is taken out of you when all you do, all you're driven by, and all you want is external. You feel me? External things. We're only here for so long. We're only in this body for so long. You better make sure that you enjoy it. And tell me that money is everything is just a lie, bro. It's a lie. It's a lie that the capitalistic mindset, it's a lie of this structure that we're underneath to what? Close the gap between what's real and what's fake. And what is real? Our families. What is real? The people around us in our community. But what do? They separate you guys by making you value money over everything that's right in front of you. You feel me? It's a very, very clever tactic. But at the end of the day, with my platform, I have to come on here and continue to raise awareness and continue to speak not only to my people, but to men at large. You feel me? As men, these type of conversations that Terence Crawford is speaking on, these type of things that he's saying are things that need to be permeating throughout the entire culture of YouTube. And not only that, social media at large. All right. What does it matter to have all these assets but have no soul? What's the point? What are you here for if all it's about is money? Y'all help me understand. What are we here for if all we're here to do is to chase a bag, bro? And not only that, chase a bag with no backbone, no morals, willing to do whatever you gotta do to get this money? No, bro. That's a terrible way to think. That's a terrible message to send to the youth. That's a terrible message to send to the world. All right? As Black men, we're having a conversation among successful Black men. What do we look like saying that we're willing to do whatever we have to get the bag? Come on, man. That's a terrible message. And mind you, this is coming from a person who fancies himself as somebody who is cool and hip and all this crap, bro. All right, bro. Yeah, you call Russell Wilson lame, but now look at you. Oh, it's funny how the tables turn, man. It is so funny how the tables turn, bro. Because now you look like the lame, brother. You look like a lame now, my guy. You look like someone who will sell out their brother for a few coins, my bro. You know what they did to Jesus. Judas sold out Jesus for 40 silver coins. I repeat, Judas sold out Jesus Christ for 40 silver coins, man. The one, Neo, the real Neo, the one who changed it all, was sold out by one of his own disciples. All right? So understand that everybody don't stand for something in this life, and you got to be careful of people who are like this Channing Crowder dude. All right? You got to be careful of people like that, because they will hurt you. They will do whatever they have to do if somebody pays them enough money to do it. Okay. We saw how a lot of these scenarios have played out in real time in history. All right. Terence told that man he had no soul right there on the spot. That was dope. Yeah, man. Terence told him to his face because Terence is a man. All right. We're all men here. And as men, we shouldn't be afraid to call each other out. And it shouldn't have to be a bigger situation because guess what? If you want to throw hands with Terence Crawford, he's going to get his ass whooped. So it really don't matter. He feel me? It's whatever, bro. But at the end of the day, as men, we should be able to have these conversations and tell one another like, nah, bro, that sound like some snake type time, bro. That sound like you ain't got no backbone, bro. That sound like I can't respect you because you'll do whatever for the dollar. We got to have these type of conversations now with each other, bro. We got to start calling these people out, bro. And that's why it's important for me on this platform to always do that. I'm going to always get on here and call out the BS when people be doing BS. Because he did some BS, bro. And he trying to pass that off. Oh, I was just joking. Like, no, bro. No. Yeah, exactly. He'll sell his mama out. He'll sell his mama out, bro. He'll sell his mama out for this. You feel me? If that's what you're willing to do, if that's the type of person that you are, if that's the type of lifestyle you subject yourself to, I don't want to be around you, bro. I can't be around you because I have too much to lose and you're willing to do whatever. You don't care about anybody but yourself. And that's the point. That's the point that Terence is making is like, bro, like, how can I be around somebody like you, dog? Like, what the hell? Like, listen to this crap. Listen to this dude. I don't want to play it again, man, just so y'all understand what's going on.
Everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you know, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man.
Okay. This is facts, man. This is what happens. When you choose the bag over everything, when you go against what people are trying to give you the right advisory, tell you to stand on something, look at the contract, be careful when you're working with certain people, and you still go and choose it, yeah, people gonna look at you a certain way, like you don't stand for nothing, bro. They're gonna look at you like, oh man, this dude's sketchy, bro. This dude do with anything, man. You pay him whatever, he willing to do it. And that's why I said, if you're willing to do it for 100 million, you'll do it for $100. And that's just facts. If you do it for 100 million, you'll do it for $100. If you ever are in a certain scenario where you on your last, that speaks to your character. That's in you. You're willing to do whatever for the dollar. That's just who you are, bro. A lot of people are like this, man. I've been saying money's over morals. It's the American way. Yeah, man. Unfortunately. And that's why as people, we got to stand on business and we got to stand up, and we can't allow people to just say, oh yeah, man, like we just willing to do whatever for the money. No, bro, we not with that, bro. We don't do that over here. We got to have a stance. We got to stand on business. We got to say, no, that's wrong, because we got to send a message to the youth. We got to let them know that this is wrong. It's not okay to sell out. It's not okay to do whatever for money. No, that's not good. That is a message we need to be sending. And that's why it's important, like I said, to bring up these type of topics. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people are just going to be stuck on the boxing side of this, but I'm just going deeper than that. This is about moral stance. This is where we're at principle-wise in the world, in social media. This is a part of what's happening right now in the culture. We see so many people, so many influencers, so many athletes, so many people. We saw Nicki Minaj sell her soul. We watched Nicki Minaj sell her soul in real time. We watched it. We watched her get on that stage and sell her soul against her own best interest. Okay, we seeing it. So you can't just say, oh, this is just an isolated event. No, nah, bruh. This is happening a lot. This is happening all over. We just watched Mike Tyson fight Jake Paul, bruh. Nah, bro. Mike, you don't need to do this. Mike, you don't need to do this. And he still did it. All right. Some people, it don't matter to them. It's just money. They just want the money. Cool. But at the same time, you're selling your soul for that. We always gonna remember Mike showing his behind on live TV, bruh. Didn't nobody want to see that? Didn't nobody want to see that, bro? But we always gonna remember that now. Sold your soul, bro. And this is what I'm saying. We've been seeing this over and over, and that's why it's important for me to bring these type of topics to the forefront, because it's important to not just look at just what he said, but the overall message to what's happening right now in the culture. And in the culture, like, this is just where we at. Let's see what he got to say. He said, could have whooped Jake, let him live for money. Yeah, man. That's just what it was, bro. We all watched it. We all saw that. And so that's what I mean. Like, we all watched it. We all saw how people was selling out, man. We've been watching it for a minute. And that's why it's important now more than ever for us to speak on this type of time and to say, hey, man, nah, this is some BS, bro. I don't like this. I don't think it's cool to sell out. I don't think it's cool, bro. I think that people look at you like this, and they do. And that's important. It was important for Terence to make that clear. Like, nah, bro, like you don't do that, because this is what people will look at you. This is what people will say about you. And it's facts. And so he made it clear, look, man, I'm on this side of the street. I don't get down like that, bro. That's you. If that's what you're on, you can be on that. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to man code and what you're supposed to do as men, you got to stand for something, bro. You got to stand for something. You got to have some morals about your life. You got to be on that type of time, man. I met Mike Tyson in Youngstown, Ohio, in a halfway house. Hey, man. Mike been out there, bro. Mike done been through some things. You know what I'm saying?
I thought that everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you know, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man.
What more can you say, man? What more can I say? Yeah, man. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, this is what it is, bro. This is what it is. Like, I just wanted to make sure that I'm continuing to bring these topics up, because these are great topics that, in my opinion, need to be spoke about, man. Don't go out here just doing whatever for money. It's not cool. All right. We don't support that at Elite Media. We don't support any chucking and jiving at Elite Media. We don't support anybody who doesn't stand on business at Elite Media. You feel me? We don't get down like that. Everything over here is all about morals, principles, and backbone. Having some actual real life experience and helping y'all understand what's right and what's wrong. We ain't finna be having y'all just out here, man, leading each other, blind leading the blind, man. It's crazy, man. It's just not, it's not gonna happen, man. You should see up and have my soul used during your live when appropriate time. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just what it is, man. I'm working on a few things behind the scenes. I got some new stuff I'm gonna be dropping, doing some listening parties for y'all. You know, I got all these records, so now we're gonna start incorporating it into the live streams, and it's gonna get crazy. I'm just being real with you. It's gonna get crazy. We're gonna do a lot of music history. We're doing a lot of, like, you know, I'm definitely gonna get a lot of copyright strikes, and music type shit is probably gonna happen. So that'll be that. But the goal, you know what I'm saying, is to continue to incorporate new things and new a lot of new tech. We got a lot of new tech coming. That's all I gotta say. I can't say too much, but we got a lot of new things coming. But yeah, man, salute to everybody, man. Appreciate y'all. We always come through, man. We're gonna make sure that you subscribe to the channel. This was just a great topic, and honestly, you know, a lot of the times when I'm coming on here, it's just to add to the catalog and to make sure that we're speaking on real topics that are directly, in line with things that I like to speak on. And this was one of those topics, man. This topic is crazy because, once again, what is the price for your soul, right? How much do you think the price is for your soul? What are you willing to give up? And how much should you stand on in life? You feel me? Why do you allow yourself to think that anything is equatable to just dollar bills and dollar cents? Y'all let me know in the chat. Y'all let me know in the comment section. You feel me? My name's Brandon B. You feel me? It's Elite Media, man. And I'm out. Peace.